some homework about the food that it takes. And I'm looking at all these farms out here. A lot of this food is for cows. It takes 12,000 gallons of water to make 1 pound of steak. How much food does it take to feed these millions of cows? Out of all the corn out there, right around 50% of all the corn that is produced is used to feed farm animals. 50%. We have over 9 billion cows on the planet. That's 2 billion more cows than we have people. And here we are feeding all these cows, all these, and I did the math on this. Here in America alone, if we quit feeding all the cows, every single person in America would get 3 pounds of corn every single day. That's how much food they eat. So it's amazing, and the government just keeps on supporting it. And then they wonder why we're in such bad shape. Can you imagine if they would take that $20 billion a year, and instead of giving it to the companies the farmers who are growing crops that are going to be fed to farm animals, let's take that $20 billion a year and give it to the farmers who are growing fresh fruits and vegetables for our consumption instead of the cows. Here's what would happen. Let's spend $5 billion a year on more orchards. Let's spend another $5 billion a year on massive growing capability facilities that are going to reproduce their crops 4, 5, 6 times a year. All of a sudden, your healthy fruits and vegetables would drop in price. All your milk, dairy, animal products would raise in price. And in today's society, we'd only be able to afford the healthy fruits and vegetables. And in a matter of just a couple months, we wouldn't even need sick care anymore. Or health care, yeah. Did I say sick care? We wouldn't even need health care anymore because we'd have a healthy nation again. And of course, now if that happened, now you don't need all the hospitals. You don't need all the pharmaceutical companies and their multi-trillion-dollar profit pharmaceutical companies. You wouldn't need all that stuff anymore. So you'd have economic collapses by that rate. But that's the way it goes. Best thing you can do, read those labels, okay? I have found vegetarian refried beans, and it'll say 0% cholesterol. Down below it says made with lard. Vegetarian, made with lard. Check some labels, healthy bran muffins. A lot of the healthy bran muffins are running around 20% cholesterol. I have found healthy bran muffins, 35% cholesterol. You might as well just take a stick of butter, take a bite out of it. Potato chips, you'll see sour cream and cheddar potato chips. It'll say 0% cholesterol. Down below it says made with milk and cheddar and whey and all these animal products. But the government says, it's an insignificant amount. We don't need to tell you that. And so they really fudge on a lot of numbers that way. I got all potato chips last year. I started buying peanuts, almonds, walnuts, and I make blends, cashews, all the raisins and things, and I make blends, and that's what I use for my snacking. So, it might look like a lot of money when you're spending $10 for a jar of nuts, but I looked at the numbers, and I would have spent $40 worth of potato chips before I go through a $10 jar of nuts. So it actually saves me a lot of money that way, and I'm at least snacking a lot healthier. But don't get these Planters dry roasted peanuts, those are made with pork. So you don't want those. Oh yeah, you guys didn't know that, huh? They changed the label on this. It used to say peanuts, peanut oil, and sea salt. Some of them said cottonseed oil. This is the new label right here. It says sea salt, sugar, MSG, gelatin, and then all your ingredients below. Yeah, it's got MSG too, and then your gelatin, your 90% pork-based gelatin. And that's a strategy on how to make it more addictive. Okay? They've got the sugar, the oil, and the salt. They put sugar on there too. And there's an actual scientific formula, okay, that if you have the right combinations of sugar, oil, and salt in a product, it will become more addictive. There's a book out there called The End of Overeating by David Kessler. He was probably one of the only decent guys in the Food and Drug Administration. And he talks all about this. He was a whistleblower, and he actually busted all these companies. Found out that what they do is these manufacturers, they hire scientists to come in and determine exactly what formula they need in their food to make it the most addictive. That's what these industries do. They hire scientists. And so you'll find a lot of products nowadays that have that combination, sugar, oil, and salt. Because they know that the right combination is addictive. And so anyway, but that's, yeah, the Food and Drug Administration. Isn't that, where did they come up with that? The Food and Drug Administration? Aren't they kind of unevenly yoked? I mean, shouldn't they be in separate organizations? I mean, you know, who's going to, you know, when you look at the food, the healthy food is only 7%, with 93% being the unhealthy food. That little 7% doesn't stand a chance. And then you put that, couple it together with the huge drug administration and the trillions of dollars, the healthy food doesn't stand a chance in that Food and Drug Administration. They just busted the main company, or the main government that makes the decisions for the nutrition in America. 6 of the 11 people actually work for the dairy industry. And here they're on the board making the decisions for your health in America. Yeah, 6 of the 11 were on the milk industry. So, you know, but that's the way that is. Yeah. Anyway, read those labels. There's a lot of labels out there. Ranch, you know about that. Oatmeal raisin cookies. I was eating oatmeal raisin cookies for quite some time. And then I found out that they're not all vegan. I mean, I found some, I was like, oh, great label. But then I started looking at other labels, and boy, they're just loaded with cholesterol. I'm like, oh, okay. So just because one label has it doesn't mean that another brand is going to be the same. Or you might have the exact same label on the front, but it'll have a different label on the back in another part of the country because it's coming from a different manufacturer. That happens quite a bit too. I've noticed that on the roads. So. But yeah, the label reading is one of the best things you can ever do. Oh, check this out. Now, if you want to get your dog some vegan snacks, they have vegan snacks for your dog. Yeah, soy-free, low-fat, 100% vegan with all organic ingredients. I don't know what dog would eat that, but... but even, here, check this one out. I went down through the baby food section. These are little chicken sticks for babies. 35% cholesterol. This is what people are feeding their babies, but they're getting their dog healthy vegan snacks. I mean, what is wrong with this world today? Oh, man. Just totally backwards. This one's almost done here. Wow, this one is almost done. And that is definitely. So let me drain the water off of this real quick. Yeah, I always tell people, when it comes to these manufactured foods, eat something that is a plant, not something that was manufactured in a plant, okay? There's a big difference between the two. All right, so we're just going to do a quick drain on this. And, is it foggy now? Okay. I try to get a lot of that juice out of there because otherwise your breadcrumbs just get so soggy. Okay, I hear you over there. I do a lot of cooking with my ears. I can actually hear when something is done. And this is pretty much done here. It's almost done. Not quite done. Almost. And this is going. Oh, I got to do watermelon too. I'm having too much fun chit-chatting up here. I'm going to get back to work. Okay, this has got to shut off. See, I hear that going. A little multitasking here, okay? I got to get some multitasking done. Everything's being done at once. Whew. Well, my mom, she was pretty good at multitasking too. That might be where I got it. She'd be at church, and she'd be praising Jesus with one hand, and she'd be smacking me with the other. She'd be like, praise God! Get down there! I'm like, what I do? She'd be like, I know you were going to do something in there. She was something else, I'll tell you. It was kind of interesting. Here she is celebrating life with one hand while she's trying to take mine with the other, you know? Alright, these taco burgers are done, so I got to get to it. So taco burgers, you got grilled onions with some taco meat. That's basically what you got there right now. And then I'm just going to put some beans in here. And you can put any kind of beans you want in there. And black beans, pinto beans. And sometimes I do kidney beans, whatever kind of beans you want, you can put them in. And then we're going to add just a little bit of the refried lard in here. Oh, I said refried lard now. I meant refried beans. No, that's not the lard. Refried beans. I said refried lard, didn't I? Okay, I better check now just to make sure. Well, I had a can that actually had the lard in it, and one day I could never find it again, you know, so. Let's see. Okay, no lard in this one. Well, of course, I got this at Walmart. All right, now we're just going to do a little stir with this. And just like that, you got your taco burgers. So it's kind of like making sloppy joes, but you're doing it Mexican style. In fact, if you want to make sloppy joes, you can do the same thing with it. But with sloppy joes, you would do like tomato paste and garlic and onion for your sloppy joes, maybe a little Southwest flavoring. Now, what I do with my sloppy joes, instead of adding all the sweetener to it, I do it with a shot of cinnamon. And so that way I don't have to use all that sweetener in my sloppy joes. But just that easy, boom, you got your taco burgers. So that's pretty easy to do. All this stuff is pretty easy. And I got a lot of good recipes on my website too for you. So, okay, we got that done. And we put that there. Oh, got to do that watermelon still. That's done. Let me shut that off right now. Okay. Get her done. Watermelon. My mom, she didn't get you many watermelons either. She always had an excuse. She was always like, oh, they're so big. She didn't want to bring them home from the grocery store. That was a big thing. Or she'd be like, yeah, they just take up so much room in the fridge, and they're so expensive. That was always an excuse back then. And then she'd be like, oh, they're so tough to cut. I was like, come here, Mom. Let me show you how to cut a watermelon. I think I pretty much got it there. We're going to get all this out of the way. Okay, we're going to get this sliced right in half like this one. This looks good. Looking good. And then we're going to do a couple slices this way, okay? Just like this. Now, if you're going to do this at home, though, don't put your hand on this side, okay? Keep your hand on top so you don't go slicing your fingers off. And then we'll do some slices this way. Just like that. And then some slices this way. And then we can just put it right in the container here. Be careful now. I don't want watermelon all over the floor. Okay, just like that. And really, within 1 minute, you got your watermelon all sliced up. There we go. Woo! I should have been a cook.